Good evening, everybody. Thank you for attending the Kwanzaa event for 2021. And what I am getting ready to do right now is that, in the spirit of Kwanzaa, I am asking and inviting all of the elders that are 55 years and older to step into the room and please take your place.
When we hear the drum call, everyone should quietly go to their seat and wait for the elders to be escorted to the front of the room to their place of honor. However, in this year, 2020, we know that COVID-19 has caused every organization to do things differently. So we're having a virtual celebration. An elder is anyone older than 54 years, and we honor them by asking them to come to the front of the room. But because we are virtual, we're asking our elders to make sure they are attending the Zoom celebration with us. We honor them because of their life experiences. We value that. And many of us have learned a great deal about the 7 principles of Kwanzaa even before we knew what they were called. Elders teach and guide us through life lessons for the rest of our lives. Elders, I ask for your permission to continue our program.
As you have
Amen.
Amen.
I go.
I go. As you have heard in words that are spoken in Swahili, we use the words I go, which means may I have your attention. And we also use the words I may, which means may I have your permission to speak.
The formal greeting is really a Swahili term as well, habari gani, which means what's the news. So if I say habari gani, then your comment would be Ujima habari gani, because Ujima is the 3rd principle and today is the 3rd day. Our theme
for Kwanzaa 2021 is as follows: creating a legacy for our heritage and our culture.
As you know, our African beliefs and practices are in constant change in the world we live in today. However, we have to hold strong to the belief that culture is the fundamental source of a people's identity, their purpose, and their direction. In 1619, when the slaves came to America, the white man tried very hard to erase our culture. Today, we have to continue to honor it and keep it in the present so that our children will have a better future. Ashe?
Ashe.
My name is Sandra McLean, and I am the board president of Project Ujima. I am also a retired educator from the Akron Public Schools. My other volunteer effort is with the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. I am a Silver Star and a life member of that organization. And my sisters know that I love them dearly. And now I would like to introduce you to my Mr. of Ceremonies, Mark Foster, and he'll tell you a little bit about himself.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Kwanzaa. My name is Mark Foster, and I am a member of Project Ujima, and it is an honor and a privilege to be working with Ms. Sandra McLean on the program this evening. Thank you.
Now Keish will explain libations.
A libation is a ritual pouring of a liquid as an offering to a god or a spirit, or a memory of those who have passed on. It was common in many religions of antiquities and continue to be offered in various cultures today. Water is suggested as it holds the essence of life and should be placed in the communal cup and poured in the direction of the four winds. And it should be passed around the families and used a sipping gesture when you're doing so. And today we want to pour libations. And we want to honor those who have gone before us, who laid a foundation for us to continue on, those we want to bring into the space. And so we want to just honor them by calling out their names. And then I'll pour water into this fresh plant. And then after doing so, we just complete with saying Ashe. So I start by honoring my grandmother, Elvie Hayes, my brother, Troy Hayes, and my father, Julius Irvin. Ashe.
Okay.
And I would like each of you to honor those who have gone before us, or any ancestors, by calling out their names, and we'll honor them with pouring water and saying Ashe.
Irene Hollingsworth, my mother.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Carolyn Reed, my mother.
Ashe.
Evelyn Bennett, my mother.
Ashe.
Thelma Davis.
Ashe.
Thelma Davis, my mother.
Ashe.
And
Ashe.
L.B. White, my
Ashe.
father.
John Lewis, activist.
Ashe.
Fannie Lou Hamer.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe, thank you.
And now my sisters will come forth and bring you some food for thought.
Thank you, Sister Sandra. And we will bring you food for thought. My name is Gwen Gamblin, and I also am a sister of Sandra McLean. I am.
Can't hear you.
You're muted, Gwen.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you, Sister Sandra. Along with some other members of our Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, Zeta Theta Omega chapter here in Akron, we're going to bring you some proverbs today. And first of all, I want to say, we will not know ourselves if we do not know our history. And some of our history comes through the Kwanzaa celebration. We have learned about a lot of our history through that. Ashe?
Ashe.
Okay. Ujima, the principle of collective works and responsibility, which guides us from day to day. Okay, so also I want to tell you what proverbs are. Some proverbs are good proverbs and some are inspirational proverbs. They are usually short, well-known sentences containing a wise thought, but usually not traceable because they've come down through generations from our parents, our grandparents, even our great-great-grandparents. And sometimes they could not even tell us where it came from. They just heard it, repeated it, and told us. Also, a good understandable proverb can be the heart of a story. It tells us a story and enhances reliability of what is being said or conveyed to whomever we're speaking to. It usually leaves a lasting impression or impact on the listener. Let us not, let us not be a person of success, but a person of value. One small positive thought, being in the form of a proverb, can change your whole day, your week, or your entire life. Sometimes when one states a proverb, it's usually start us by thinking positive, as said before, and we try to keep the proverb and their meaning in our culture. So therefore, our children will hear the proverb. They may take it down to their children. So let's keep the proverbs going as we have done so far. Also, adhering to the principle of Ujima means to build and maintain our community together and make the problems of our sisters, our brothers, our sons, our daughters, let's make them their problems our problem. And we need to work together to help solve those problems. Help our young people, all our people, to rebuild our community. This is one of our responsibilities of the community. We see crime on a daily basis. I know when I was younger, we did not see crime and hear of crime like we do today. Our young, our old are being killed, dying unjustly. Our rights are being denied. So we must pull together collectively. In doing so, many proverbs have been passed down to try to keep our culture very strong. One of our proverbs that I know in the past that I've heard is, the pen is mightier than the sword. One should try to convince people with their ideas and their words rather than trying to force them to do what they want them to do. Such as, for instance, with our protests. We try to protest peacefully, but sometimes we're denied by the persons in blue, usually because of the color of our skin. They want to force us back using swords, so to speak, rather than words. Now we have a few of our ladies here, and I'm going to tell you, we have Louetta Daniels from AKA, Alpha Kappa Alpha. We have our president, Dana Lagarde. We also have Renea Williams, and we have Dr. Peggy Honaker. And then we'll all give you a proverb, recite it for you, to you, and explain to you what it means to them. Thank you. Go ahead. So we'll start with Sister Louetta Daniels.
Thank you for having me back for a second year in doing the Proverbs. I really enjoyed it last year, and I'm enjoying it now. Thank you very much. I'm Louetta Daniels. I'm an AKA and a retired educator and a retired mental health worker from Akron Children's Hospital. My Proverbs is, ants are tiny, but they lift things that are many times their size and weight. Now, to me, this means just because you're short, and I happen to be a short person, so I thought that was very appropriate to get this one to read. I am under 5 feet, and just because I cannot reach things, I do not let it bother me. I get a ladder, or I'll get something that I can stand on that's going to be sturdy and reach up to get it, or ask someone to help. I do not let my height stop me from doing anything. Never have. Matter of fact, I don't even think that I am short until I'm standing next to somebody that I think is short and they're taller than me. And I'm like, wow, I guess I am kind of short there. And when it comes to weight, if I can't lift anything that is heavy, I'm going to ask for help. I got my sisters to help me with the AKA. I got family members that can help me. I am not too proud to ask for help, nor am I too selfish, not at all, to give help. If I see someone that needs help with something, I'm going to be the first to go up there and help them. Not ask them if they need it, I'm going to do it. And then I always know that God said he will never leave me nor forsake me. And I know that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Dana Lagarde, president of the Zeta Theta Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha. My proverb today is, make a bed for the children of other people in the place where your children sleep. Let me repeat that. Make a bed for the children of other people in the place where your children sleep. When I read this proverb, it is in essence the golden rule, where Jesus instructs us on Matthew 7th chapter, 12th verse. In everything to do to others as you would have them do to you. This is the law and the prophets. Simply said, God commands us to treat others the way we want to be treated. John 2nd chapter, 8th verse. If ye fulfill the royal law according to the scripture, which is thou love thy neighbor as thyself, ye do well. After reading this proverb, it is not speaking of a place or a location, but it is how we treat others. If we show the same love, consideration, and patience to others as we give our loved ones, what a wonderful and different world we will find ourselves. What if every teacher taught each child as if they were conducting a lesson for their child or grandchild? What if every nurse cared for all patients as if they were aiding their mother or father? And what if every police officer approached every vehicle as if there was their loved one sitting behind the wheel? We may not be teachers, nurses, or police officers. However, we are all under the same law as everyday individuals. We must approach every interaction as if our loved ones stood across from us, using love, compassion, and patience. If we model this concept, what a different world we will have. We would find ourselves in successful, rewarding, and loving relationships, both individually and in our community. Thank you.
Hello, I am Renia Williams. I am the principal of Barber COC with Akron Public Schools, and I too am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha. My proverb today is, what is looked for by many will have a finder. The word will in this proverb is an operative word that enforces the Lord's Prayer stating, thy will be done. The word will is definitive, not helpful, not wishful. Will is a word of action, a verb that is definitive. Will states things will happen. It's the belief our ancestors have held since 1619. It confirms the word Imani, one of the 7 principles, meaning faith. In our culture, we have faith and believe with our hearts in our people, in righteousness and victory of our struggles. We will overcome social injustice. We will overcome our struggles. We will have equality. We will be successful. We will. My second proverb is, if birds travel without coordination, they beat each other's wings. Birds travel in a V formation when they fly. Birds fly at wings length apart, but they don't hit each other or destroy the V formation. The birds have one leader. All other birds follow that leader to get to their destination. Like the birds, we must support each other. We must have a purpose. We have a destination. We must continue to unite and work together to get to our destination. There is a benefit of working together. Unity is one of the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. We must continue to work towards having unity within our culture.
Peggy, are you there?
Hello.
Okay.
My name is Peggy, Dr. Peggy Honaker. Thank you for asking me to, I'm honored to be a part of this program this evening. My proverb is, first of all, I am a retired teacher from the Akron Public Schools, having taught at Schumacher and also worked at the University of Akron as an associate professor. My proverb, when minds are saying that which is far off will come. My interpretation of this proverb means when we're on one accord and together and all together, we work collectively and responsibly, we can get the job done sooner and it won't seem so far off. In Proverbs 16:32, it states, undisturbed mind and heart are the life and health of the body, but envy, jealousy, and wrath are like the rottenness of the bones. And this is also in James 1:19. God wants us to love one another, and that is one of our first prerequisites for learning how to be alive today. We are to each one reach one and help one another as we lift, as we climb. And the principle, the third principle of Kwanzaa, Ujima, does translate into collective work and responsibility. And we cannot work alone. No man is an island. We have to work together, and that's what we do alongside of, I do that alongside of my sisters in the sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. But we also have to learn how to love one another and work together. That is the essence of our minds being on one accord. So we come together, we work together, we help one another, and nobody is more important than anyone else. We lift as we climb. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. We have one of our members missing tonight, so I'm just going to give you her proverb. And her proverb was, when spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. I've always thought if you work together, you can usually accomplish what looks like an impossible task. As in an organization or at work, when you form that team concept, things will be much easier for all involved. If all the spiders put their web together, or all people, and unite, they can catch that big lion because they are strong enough. Just recently, within our sorority, I was challenged with completing what I thought was impossible in the time frame I had been given, but 6 of us divided up the task, and lo and behold, we completed it with time to spare. Great teamwork with an awesome team. We spun that web. So this is the end of our Proverbs, and as you see, all the Proverbs express love, togetherness, and helping, and teamwork. And without teamwork, without togetherness, helpfulness, and love, things are difficult to do. So we want to continue with that. And as we continue also, one of our missions are, as we go forward today and tomorrow, is service to all mankind. So with this, I would like to say thank you again to all the sisters of Alpha Kappa Alpha, and I'm going to turn this back over to my other sister, Miss Sandra McLean.
I go.
Ashay.
Amen.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I was going to add a note. I'm between 2 calls right now. A tech call for the Kwanzaa statewide thing and your call. Only thing I would ask you, young
Can't hear you.
I can't hear him.
We can go ahead, Miss Sandy, with the.
Okay. Thank you, my sisters of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority. And now we will have the singing of the National Black Anthem. And those of you that are on Zoom, hum along if you would like.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening and resound out as a song full of the hope that the present has brought us, facing the rising sun of a new day began. Let us march on till victory is won.
Just say something. She gonna love it.
That was beautiful. Thank you very much for that rendition of the Black National Anthem. My name is Taba, and I'm here to further explain more about Kwanzaa. And first, I'd like to just talk about and say that Kwanzaa is an African-American and Pan-African holiday which celebrates family, community, and culture. Celebrated from December the 26th through January the 1st, the origins of the first harvest celebrations of Africa it takes its name from a longer name called Matunde ya Kwanzaa, which means first fruits in Swahili. And Swahili is a Pan-African language that is spoken by more people across Africa than any other language. Kwanzaa was established in 1966 in the midst of the Black freedom movement, and thus reflects its concerns for cultural groundedness and thought and practice. It was created by Dr. Malana Ron Karinga. He was a professor of Africana Studies at California State University. And he had an organization in Long Beach, California. He had an organization called the Organization US. They were the founders of Kwanzaa in 1966. And he's a scholar, activist who stresses the indispensable need to preserve continuity, revitalize, and promote African American culture. Finally, Kwanzaa then is a time of ingathering of the people to reaffirm the bonds between them. It's a time of special reverence for the creator and creation of beauty and creation. Third, it's a time of commemoration of the past in pursuit of its lessons and in honor of its models of human excellence and our ancestors. Fourth, it's a time of recommitment to our highest cultural ideals in our ongoing efforts to always bring forth the best of African cultural thought and practice. And five, it's a time of celebration of the good of life and existence itself, the good of family, community, and culture, the good of the awesome and the ordinary. In a word, the good of the divine, natural and social. And as you can see, I've set my Kwanzaa table, the symbols up, and I'd like to just go over them. I know that with all that's here, it's hard for you to see the very first symbol of Kwanzaa, and there are 7 symbols, and then there are 2 supplemental symbols. And the first one that we should put down on our table, and if you can, the best Kwanzaa table is one that's kind of lower to the floor. And the first thing that you put down on your table is your mat, or the mkeka. And the mkeka is symbolic of our tradition and history, and therefore the foundation on which we build. And everything else then is put on the mkeka, the mat. The next thing you want to put on your mkeka is the kanara, or the candle holder. And the candle holder is symbolic of our roots, our parent people, continental Africa. And so this is what is known as the kanara. And it has 7 places for the Mashuma Saba. And the Mashuma Saba are the 7 candles. And again, I have young ladies here who are going to, Gabby and Jasmine, who are going to come forward in a moment and explain what each of the 7 principles stand for, the matrix. And these are a set of minimum standards that we hope that everyone will live by during Kwanzaa and throughout the life, throughout the rest of the year, not just celebrate December the 26th through January the 1st. The next thing you'll see on the mkeka or mat is the Kikombe Cha Umoja, the unity cup. And during COVID time, you know, we're not getting ready to drink after each other. So it's symbolic. It's symbolic of the foundational principle and practice of unity, which makes all else possible. So again, I urge you, everybody in the family, get a nice cup, pour a little water, apple juice, grape juice, what have you, and then we just toast to each other at the same time with the Kikombe Cha Umoja. Next thing you'll see, the Mazeo. And you'll see that this is our, our crops over on this side, sorry, the crops. And these are symbolic of African harvest celebrations and the rewards of productive and collective labor. Many of us, we know, I don't have, well, we started a garden over at the Zalika Gathering Home, and that was fun, but it was a lot of work too. So most of us are not that great at gardening, but our fruits of our labor come in many different formats. In Africa, yes, we were harvesting people, and we celebrate when that food comes forward. So that means we're gonna eat for the year. But again, we can call our jobs, you know, fruits of our labor, and the money that we've been able to maybe set aside and can help someone else. That's the fruits of our labor. So again, that's symbolic. And then next on the Mkeka is our muhindi. And these are ears of corn. And the muhindis are symbolic of our children and our future. So again, I raised 4 young people, children, so I put 4 ears of corn or muhindi on my mkeka mat. And then finally, you'll notice over on the right-hand side, or hopefully it's right-hand side or left, are the zawadi, or gifts. And again, what in African culture, in doing Kwanzaa, we want the gifts to be labors of love of the parents and the commitments made and kept by the children. So again, children, you always say you better be good. We want you to be good for goodness sake, for Kwanzaa, that you make a commitment to do certain things, whether that's get good grades, come in during curfew and all those kind of things, and practice what we should be practicing during COVID, then those are the commitments you make to your family. And for that, you get rewarded with, hopefully during Kwanzaa, books for your educational learning, maybe some handmade soap. This one I saved from last year because I thought it was just beautiful. It was the red, black, and green soap, handmade items. This I got from Lakeisha, and this was a cookie. It says Black Girl Magic. So again, it's real artistic. And I always put my little African symbol, a dial on the table. And then I think Brother Mark is going to read from this book. He's mentioned it already, but this is my copy of Hair Love. So this treat is coming soon. And so without any further ado, I'd like to ask my assistants to come forward and let's light the candles. Every night you're going to light 1 candle of Kwanzaa. And the first night, of course, we're going to light the black candle for unity, and that's the one in the middle. Okay. Night number 2 is Kujijakalia, and it's our first red candle. Let's get that Kujijakalia candle lit. And then tonight is Ujima. So we're gonna come over and light 1 green candle, Ujima. And once you have your candles lit, this is the time when you're sitting around the table and it's time to talk about what does Ujima mean in our family? How has each of us practiced collective work and responsibility? So again, I'd like Gabby and Jasmine to pick up the 7 symbols of the Nguzo Saba and just recite to us what they mean.
Emoja, unity. To strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. Emoja. Kuji Shakalia. Self-determination. To define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. Kuji Shakalia. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. To build and maintain our community together, and to make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and to solve them together. Ujima. Kaumba, creativity. To always do as much as we can in the way we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than when we inherited it. Kaumba. Nia, purpose. To make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. Nia. Ujima, cooperative economics. To build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit from them together. Ujima. Imani, faith. To believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, in the righteousness and victory of our struggle. Imani.
Thank you, Gabby and Jasmine. Gabby and Jasmine are the daughters of our vice president of our board of directors, Chris Faulkner. And he was kind enough to drop them by a little earlier today. And so we've been practicing for this today. So I'm so happy to have them with me. What I forgot to mention, you probably noticed right out front, and that is one of our supplemental symbols of Kwanzaa, and that is the bandera. And that is the red, the black, and the green flag. And that flag was given to us by the Honorable Marcus Garvey back in the 1930s. And again, red standing for the struggle, green standing for the earth, black standing for us, the race. So we praise the red, the black, and the green. Thank you. I guess I should say one more thing. I don't have it here with me, and I do apologize for that. We can also put on our display when we're doing our Kwanzaa symbols another supplemental symbol, and that is just having a poster of the Nguzo Saba. Normally, we would just post those up somewhere, the 7 principles of the Nguzo Saba, but you can also purchase a poster and just have it situated. So again, those are the 2 supplemental, but the other 7 are all here. Thank you.
Thanks, Taba. And thanks, ladies. As the girls share with you the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, let us remind you that the 3rd principle of Kwanzaa is Ujima. And now Keish will introduce how Project Ujima has chosen to celebrate collective work and responsibility.
Thank you, Ms. Sandy. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Thank you for our partnership with Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. We definitely appreciate you for jumping in with us and doing this for the community. And so Project Ujima, we chose to honor this day, collective work and responsibility, because, well, one way we chose to honor is just to honor someone in the community who exhibits collective work and responsibility. That's part of our name. We've been in the organization in this community for over 11 years, and we're a grassroots community engagement organization that teach and facilitate a discussion process. And we know that relationship building and working together is the cornerstone of how we grow, how we get things done. And so there are people that we work with in the community that we like to honor. And so one of those people tonight is Tyron. He is a member of this community, and he dedicates his time tirelessly to continue to bring arts to our community and to continue to work with small nonprofit organizations like our own. He's always keeping us in the forefront in the mind and helping us raise funds, which isn't an easy task, right? And so tonight we wanted to bring Brother Tyron to you this evening and honor him with this plaque that's named after our co-founder, Crystal L. Jones. And this is the Crystal L. Jones Collective Work and Responsibility Award presented to Tyron Houston 2020. And so we thank you for your work in the community. We honor you for your work and partnership that you do with Project Ujima. And at this time, we would like for you to share a few words, if you will, about a little bit about you, and then some of the work that you do.
Hey, absolutely. This is a big surprise. I didn't know this was happening until tonight. So again, as you heard, my name is Tyron. I'm a playwright, I'm a writer, an actor. I just like to do, creative things and keep my hand in anything that involves storytelling. I heard a quote earlier tonight that said, the pen is mightier than the sword. If we can write those stories and write who we really are and what we really stand for and what we represent, that will speak much louder to the world, and that'll be much more valuable if we can pass that on. So that's always kind of been my feeling. And I don't want to make myself sound too grand or anything. I also just like to write stuff that's fun and adventurous. I'm not, somebody who's all big and successful. I still live here in Akron. I still have tons and tons of stuff I'm trying to make happen. But I've been able to do some small plays and some small things in the community. And it's just nice that Ujima has recognized me. I was not, was not expecting that, or wasn't asking for it, or wasn't hoping for it. But I really mean that it is very, very humbling. And I don't say that just to be political, because that would be the appropriate thing to say, right? No, I really mean it. It is really humbling that just me doing what I felt was the right thing, what I felt kept me principled, which was by, trying to give and be a part of Ujima, that to them, that meant something. Because to me, they mean something. So to see that there's a mutual respect there, that means a lot to me. So once we get off here, I'm gonna update my resume. I'm gonna take my little University of Akron degree off of there. I'm gonna put that Ujima says I'm okay, because I think that speaks a little bit louder, to be recognized by the people whom you live with. So that's a good thing going forward. The people, you may talk a good game, but the people who hear you talk, what do they have to say about you? What do your neighbors have to say about you, the people you work with? So that's why this means so much to me. And again, I say thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. We turn it back to you, Miss Sandy and Mark.
Thank you, Keish, and congratulations, Tyron. And now we'll have some cultural expressions. First will be Vivian Taylor with a poetic expression, followed by followed by Mark Foster with a book reading called Hair Love.
Good evening, everyone. It's such an honor to be here at one of my favorite orgs that I love volunteering at. That has helped shape me as a social worker and as a fellow Black woman. So the theme tonight is collective work, and that is exactly what my poem, Collective Work and Responsibility, is about. It's my responsibility to show up for members of my community, which is Black, Black, Blackity Black. So through trials and tribulations, just know I got your back. So if sis needs money to make rent for her seats, I'm cutting a check for no questions asked. If bro needs a job, I'm lending my network to get him to work. If your cousin needs a recommendation, I'm putting my pen to paper without hesitation. Because I want my fellow sis to level up like Sierra. Want to see my brothers move on up like the Jefferson in that penthouse apartment. To the young kinfolk, I pour out my words of wisdom without shame or judgment. Just planting seeds that will one day bloom into the next Obama, Ida, or Whitney Young. Paying it forward in the spirit of my elders, the deacons and deaconess and ancestors, who all molded me to be my best and their wildest dreams, a Black joy. So let's pour out libations and grab a glass to toast to this Kwanzaa celebration. Thanks.
Ashe. And now we're here from Mark.
Yes, hello everybody who's participating in the program. One of the things that I wanted to actually donate to the group and wanted to share was something that was near and dear to my heart. I found recently. It's a storybook called Hair Love, and I'm showing it on the screen. This is actually also a short Black animated film. And the guy, his name is Matthew A. Cherry. He actually won an Academy Award for this animated book that celebrates Black hair. And what it also celebrates is the bond between a bond between a mother, father, and the daughter. Because this time, the father is actually working on the little girl's hair for a special event that she has at school. So I'm going to read you a small excerpt of the book and want to encourage anybody who wants to give it to their daughter or even give it to their son to allow them to embrace their natural hair. So here's a bit of the excerpt from the book, Hair Love. Zuri's hair lets her be her, its coils and kinks to perfectly match a princess or a superhero. And I will end by saying sometimes love looks like braids, puffs, and twists. Thank you so very much. And I turn it back over to Miss McLean.
Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
This has been a fun-filled educational evening. And as we come to a close, there are some thank yous that we would like to say. So Mark, you want to thank our partners and those that are participating?
Yes, I will. I would definitely like to send out a special thank you to Project Ujima. I would also like to thank the women of Alpha Kappa Alpha, and I would also like to thank the Akron Kwanzaa Committee. Thank you guys so very much for your help, your time, and your effort. It is definitely appreciated, and it was an honor and a privilege to get a chance to work with you.
And now, before we do our Asifa praise, we have just a few announcements. Number one, today is the third night of Kwanzaa, Ujima. Tomorrow will be night number 4, Cooperative Economics, which is Ujima. And it will be shown as well on the official Akron Kwanzaa Facebook page. Or you can also find it on G&J Media website from 6 to 8. Now, don't forget those, everybody. The other thing I'd like to encourage, if by some chance you are looking for a place to volunteer your time, please think about Project Ujima. We would love to have your ideas, your expertise, because as you can see, we're all about the community. We hope you had a wonderful evening and enjoyed what we have prepared for you. Mark, we're ready for Sifa.
Okay. May we always remember those who have gone before us. May we be inspired by their vision and their valor. May their lives continuously remind us that service is more important than success, that people are more important than possessions, that principle is more important than power. May whatever we do be shaped and molded by honesty, competence, and commitment. May our children and our children's children carry forth with pride the nobility of our history and traditions. To the Creator of all of us, we dedicate our lives to make the world better and more beautiful. Ashe.
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 And now, as we close out, everybody, Harambe, which means let's pull together. Let us say it together 7 times. Harambe. Harambe.
Harambe.
Harambe.
Harambe.
Harambe. Harambe. Harambe.
Harambe.
Good night, everyone, and thanks for joining us.
Good night, and thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.